That was a terrible show I just watched today. Terrible, terrible event I just watched today. Hi, I'm the Godfather Soldiers. So I hope all of you watched my podcast earlier today from last night's SmackDown. Name of my topic today is called Stupid, Sneaky, and Subpar in Saudi Arabia. Was SummerSlam 2025 worth watching? This was a terrible show I just watched today, I just can't get up. I'll say I should say this should be called Day of Champions, not Night of Champions. So much I would say. Before I do, I'm gonna open the show with a little bit of music. I'm gonna open the show with this with the hit single from the St. Elmo's Fire soundtrack called St. Elmo's Fire Man in Motion by John Parr. So stick around, right back. I'm gonna get the music playing, break it all down. I'll be right back. Yep. Scene Almost Fire, Man in Motion, all you just heard. Movie set as from the movie soundtrack. All you just heard celebrates its 40th anniversary today. And I'm gonna mention that in my history and birthdays and stuff when I do my review tonight today. It's good to get the show started. Let's get the rolling right here. Okay. And by the way, thank God it's a miracle that good old JR is the good old JR Jim Ross is cancer free. He's one of the best. He's an all-time great WWE Hall of Famer. Good old JR, who's currently on AEW. Okay, let's get down to business. Pre-show arrivals. Randy Orton is shown entering the arena. Cody Rhodes is sitting in the arena today. In the arena earlier today. Think of the King of the Ring tournament. Sami Zayn is in attendance, and his opponent, Karrion Kross, who is with Scarlett. Rhea Ripley is shown exiting an SUV. Her opponent, Raquel Rodriguez, is also in attendance. Asuka is shown walking backstage, as is her Queen of the Ring opponent, Jade Cargill. Finally, we see CM Punk entering the arena. Nia Champion's hype. We go to the Kingdom, go live into the Kingdom Arena. We see a big Power Connects display. We see Wade Barrett, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, and a former King of the Ring welcome us to the show. Randy Orton makes his way to a massive ovation. It seems like every member of the audience is singing Orton's theme song. It's quite the spectacle. When Cody Rhodes makes his entrance, the crowd knows every lyric and sings it loud and proud, and it's red hot. And the crowd's red hot. I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They talk to me. They talk to me. Yeah, hold on a second. Let's see. Okay, King of the Ring tournament final match. Randy Orton versus American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Referee is Charles Robinson. The winner of this match will become the 2025 King of the Ring and will challenge for the undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Championship at SummerSlam. Charles Robinson, who made his referee debut in 1995 from WCW, from WCW, he was in WCW, calls for the bell to start this match. Either Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes become the 24th King of the Ring. Randy Orton was never King of the Ring, They lock up and Rhodes backs Orton to a corner. Orton backs into a corner and gives him a clean break. The crowd is chanting like crazy at the start of this. Rhodes and Orton will have to stop and look around as they chant "Ole" and wave their phones around. They lock up again, and Rhodes applies an over-the-head wrist lock. Orton twists out and applies a hammerlock before going into a side headlock. Orton whips Orton off, but Orton responds with a shoulder tackle. Rhodes looks over at Orton and nods to him as he gets to his feet. The crowd starts to chant, "This is awesome." They lock up for a third time, and Rhodes wrenches the yarn. Orton turns on Rhodes, so Rhodes chops the chest to get out. Orton absorbs the sting of the chop, and Rhodes is getting fired up. Orton goes for a lockup, but Rhodes ducks and applies a wrist lock. Orton does a standing switch. So does elbows him in the face. So Rose elbows him in the face, forearms him, and knees him in the midsection. Rose hits the ropes, but Orton turns him inside out with a kitchen sink knee to the midsection. Orton goes over to Rhodes, but Rhodes kicks him in and drops down for an uppercut. Orton stumbles to the corner, so Rhodes attacks him. Orton reverses a whip to the opposite corner, but Rhodes stuns him with a back elbow before hitting a bulldog for a 2 count. Rhodes heads up to the top rope, but Orton cuts him off with a punch to the midsection. Orton punches him in the head and climbs to the middle rope. Orton hooks the head and goes up top. Goes up to the top rope. For a massive suplex, his father's old finisher quickly. Orton quickly grabs his lower back. Orton missed over for a year of action for a spinal injury. Rose sees the opening and clubs Orton in the small of the back before hitting a disaster kick for a 2 count. Rose drives his knee into the injured back before hitting a snap suplex for a 1 count. Rose forearms Orton in the face a few times, so Orton responds with some right hands. Orton twists the arm and hits a reverse headlock backbreaker, a trademark move. As the move requires Rose to impact on Orton's attack before impact on Orton's back. Orton doubles him over in pain. Rhodes pulls over Orton to the ring post and stretches him around it. The crowd is starting to boo Rhodes. That's stupid. A Let's Go Randy chant picks up. Orton rolls to the ring and gets to his feet. He's greeted with a missile drop kick from Rhodes for a 2 count. Rhodes drives a knee into the spine and applies a neck vice. The crowd chants, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Orton fights up, so Rhodes transitions to a rear chin lock. Rear chin lock. Orton drops down on one knee, down to a knee. The crowd wills Orton on, so he powers up and backs Rhodes into a corner. Rhodes keeps the hold applied, so Orton backs him into a second time. Orton charges, so Rhodes slingshots over and goes for a snap power slam, but Orton puts the brakes on. Orton connects with a pair of clotheslines and a snap power slam. Orton weakly covers him for a 2 count. A loud RKO chant picks up. Rhodes rolls to the apron, so Orton catches him. Rhodes catches him between the middle and the top rope with a front headlock. Rhodes fights out of draping DDT, but clubs the back. Rhodes pushes him into the ropes and hits a second club to the lower back. Rhodes connects with a Cody cutter. Run 2, Orton kicks out. Rhodes pulls Orton to his feet and scales to the top ropes and to the turnbuckle. Dives for a bigger Cody cutter. 1-2, Orton kicks out. Rhodes cannot believe it. Rhodes watches Orton painfully pull himself up in the corner. Rhodes punches him in the midsection. Orton reverses a whip to the corner, but Rhodes rolls up to the turnbuckles and lands on the apron. Orton quickly attacks and hits the signature draping DDT. The crowd loudly chanting RKO. Orton drops down. The Viper is ready to strike. Rhodes blocks an RKO and counters with a crossroads. 1-2, Orton kicks out. Rhodes is in disbelief. Rhodes gets to his feet and looks around the Kingdom Arena. The crowd is loudly booing him. Telling you, man, Triple H is a bad CEO. Bad CEO. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, RKO. Orton drops down. The Viper's ready to strike. Rose blocks an RKO and encounters with a crossroads. 1-2. Orton kicks out. Rose is in disbelief. Rose gets to his feet and looks around the Kingdom Arena. The crowd is lightly booing him. Rose walks towards Orton and Orton hits him with an RKO from out of nowhere. 1-2. Rose barely kicks out. Orton holds back in pain and he rolls to his knees and uses the rolls to pull himself up. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." Rose is crawling around and Orton is thinking some evil thoughts. Orton backs up for a punt, but he puts his head down and thinks better of it. The crowd chants yes. Orton looks conflicted before backing up and charging. Rose avoids a punt and picks up the leg up before applying the figure 4 leg lock. Orton is trying to withstand the pain. Eventually, he reverses the pressure onto Rose by turning over. Rose has no choice but to grab the rope to break the hold that he first applied. They start to exchange punches from their knees. Orton gets stunned by a right hand. Orton kicks Rose, so Rose punches back. They start going back and forth with punches. Orton headbutts him, so Rose responds with a headbutt. Orton kicks and punches him. They continue going back and forth with punches before going into a hockey fight. Rose springboards off the middle rope, but Orton hits him with an RKO from out of nowhere. 1-2. Rose barely just kicks out. Orton gets to his feet and sneers at Rose. Orton limps toward the ropes and painfully exits the ring. Orton approaches the King of the Ring crown on this podium, but he bypasses it and grabs a steel chair. Orton gets in the ring with a chair, but Charles Robinson pulls it away from him. As Robinson hands the chair into a stage hand, Orton rips the top turnbuckle pad off. Rose blocks a shot and blocks a shot into it and goes for it to drive Orton into it. But Orton blocks it. Orton goes for an RKO, but Rose pushes him off. Orton hits the exposed turnbuckle ribs first. Rose immediately follows up with a crossroads for the win. And the winner in 2025 King of the Ring, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the 24th King of the Ring and will challenge for the undisputed World Wrestling and Entertainment Championship at SummerSlam. That is John Cena. The title that he got screwed over. The title that he got it goes all the way back to since February Elimination Chamber. Well, it looks like Cody Rhodes is coming for revenge. You know, I really wanted Randy Orton to win this match because he was never King of the Ring. Never King of the Ring. Never. SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and Raw GM SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and Raw GM Adam Pearce are in the ring. Aldis presents Rhodes with the King of the Ring crown. Rhodes shakes hands with Aldis and Pearce. Randy Orton looks on from the ramp. Brian Sexton gets in the ring and congratulates Cody Rhodes on winning the King of the Ring crown. How does it feel to have a chance to reclaim the undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Championship at SummerSlam? Rhodes thanks Orton, and Rhodes has nothing but respect for him. Orton mentored him and spoke up on his behalf. He's a future Hall of Famer. This isn't his last stop to Saudi Arabia. Rhodes has the crowd cheer for him. Orton still doesn't look happy. Rhodes says this is a arduous path. First he has to put down Jey Uso, one of the most beloved characters in WWE. Now he had to put Randy Orton down. Rhodes looks ahead at SummerSlam when he will either face CM Punk or John Cena. Rhodes knows how the crowd feels about him going against beloved people. They are holding the title for him. At SummerSlam, he is going to ball back. Rhodes poses with the crowd as pyrotechnics go off. Now I've been hearing. I was watching. Now I've been here watching this podcast and real on this Real to Us podcast, and now it says that Cody Rhodes is turning heel and something like that. That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing now Cody Rhodes looks ahead to SummerSlam, the undisputed WWE Championship. If it's John Cena, which is likely going to be, will end the 17th reign at SummerSlam, or keep it going. But then Rhodes will have to lose. Hopefully, probably no Travis Scott interference. The Rock, who knows? Okay, it was announced that the Crown Jewel becoming the Perch Australia on October the 11th, 2025. Perch. Hold on a second. Crown Jewel. Yeah, Crown Jewel, Perth, Australia. That's October 11th, 2025. Hey, that'll be on Rhea Ripley's birthday. That'll be on Rhea Ripley's birthday in her home country of Australia. Crown Jewel. It'll take place on Rhea Ripley's birthday. Wow. The day she turns 29. Wow. On her birthday. Her 29th birthday. Yep. Shocking, isn't it? On her birthday at an event. WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, or SmackDown Tag Team Champions Street Profits are shown at ringside, and we see a video: Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Rodeo Boulevard street fight. WWE Tag Team Champion, WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. Referee is Danilo and Fabio. The bell rings and they stare at each other for a few moments. Ripley circles around her before they lock up. Rodriguez powers her into the ropes and knees her down. Rodriguez throws Ripley into a corner. Rodriguez blocks a boot and they go for a fallaway slam. Ripley kicks her a few times before bouncing her face off her face off her knee. Rodriguez absorbs a pair of clotheslines. Ripley ducks her right hand, but Rodriguez catches her on a rebound with a stiff clothesline. Rodriguez hits a pair of fallaway slams. The crowd boos her. Ripley responds with a crescent kick before going to the top rope. Rodriguez steps a missile drop kick before powering her into a corner. Rodriguez shoulders away at her midsection and elbows her in the face a few times. Rodriguez chops her and connects with an avalanche. Ripley drops down. Rodriguez backs her in against the ropes and ties her arms to the ropes. Rodriguez punches away at the midsection and chops the chest. Rodriguez goes to the outside and pulls a chair and a kendo stick from under the ring. Ripley looks worried. Rodriguez smashes Ripley's midsection with a kendo stick. Ripley is helpless and she's still tied to the ropes. Rodriguez grabs the steel chair, but Ripley makes the last-ditch effort to boot into her face. Rodriguez is stunned. Ripley manages to get out of the ropes and knocks Rodriguez out of the ring. Ripley manages to knock Rodriguez head first into steel steps. Ripley pulls the hood off the air-gear announce table before slinging it across the barricade in the timekeeper's area. Ripley also clears the table of debris. Ripley bounces Rodriguez off the commentary table and pulls her into the table. Ripley goes to suplex off the table and through the table's hood. Rodriguez blocks it. Ripley knocks her off the table and goes for a cannonball, but Rodriguez catches her midair and pulls her up for a powerbomb through the table hood. Rodriguez goes under the ring and grabs the table. Ripley is still down in a heap in the timekeeper's area. The crowd chants, "Let's go, Rhea." Rodriguez leans the table in the corner. Ripley starts to crawl out of the wreckage, so Rodriguez bounces her off the commentary table and takes her down. Rodriguez grabs the top half of the steel steps and sets them up on their side of the apron. Rodriguez goes for the dive into her steel steps, but Ripley stops her. Ripley bounces her off the steel steps. Ripley removes her belt and smacks her a few times with her studded belt. Rodriguez deceptively tries to get away. Ripley unloads her in the corner. Ripley with belt shots. Ripley pulls her up and hits a razor's edge, followed by a running kick. 1-2. Rodriguez kicks out and Ripley is infuriated. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." Ripley applies a prism trap, but Rodriguez runs in and clubs Ripley from behind to save Rodriguez. Ripley chases Perez to the outside. Perez kicks in the knees and goes for a running DDT on a tornado. Ripley counters into a suplex on the floor. Ripley grabs a garbage can, but it puts over Perez's head. Ripley then hits her with a siding kick, denting the can. Rodriguez, who had made ample time to recover, grabs Ripley and lion darts her into the ring post. Ripley then slings her into ring steps that were still on the apron. Rodriguez hits the slingshot corkscrew elbow drop for a near fall. Rodriguez goes for a Tijuana drop bomb through the table in the corner, but Ripley counters with a hurricanrana. Rodriguez puts the brakes on her before going through the table, and Ripley takes Ripley down. Rodriguez lays the table across the top like a platform. Ripley shoves her face first into the table and kicks her in the head. Ripley gets on the table platform and pulls Rodriguez into it after bouncing her face off the table. This is really precarious. Ripley manages to hit an avalanche riptide off the table for the win. Winner pinfall Rhea Ripley. Not a bad street fight. Now, with Liv Morgan and Dum Dum with injuries, someone else has to step up in the Judgment Day aside with Finn Balor's gotta be. Looks like Raquel Rodriguez is all on this. And they booked with strongly in this, despite the loss. It's all just a follow up. Now, last night, Julia on SmackDown, on Friday Night SmackDown, Julia defeated Zelina Vega to win the Women's U.S. Championship. Poor Zelina. Women's U.S. Championship of Julia is shown at ringside. Karen Cross with Scarlett versus Sami Zayn. Referee is Daphne LaShawn. The bell rings and the crowd is chanting for Sami Zayn, who came up to the ring with a traditional kefiye. They lock up and Cross backs him in the corner. Zayn turns him around and backs up. They lock up again and Cross backs him to the corner. Zayn shoves Cross back and Cross looks impressed. Cross has been waiting for Zayn to get more aggressive for weeks. Cross knees Zayn in the midsection and punches him down before laying in some stomps. Zayn ducks a clothesline and chops to the chest and Zayn lays in some forearms before backing up. Zayn whips Cross into the ropes, but Cross holds on to avoid him. Zayn charges and clotheslines him over the top rope. Zayn then feigns a dive when Cross backs away. Scarlett whispers in some instructions to Cross. Cross pulls Zayn out of the ring and stuns him with a forearm to the head. Cross sends him into the barricade, but Zayn counters with a leaping onto the barricade, hitting a moonsault block. Zayn gets Karen Cross into the ring. Cross stuns with a Doomsday saddle. Cross hooks the head with his boots and twists the neck. Cross box Zane into to the ropes and forearms him a few times. Cross sends him to the ropes for a back elbow. Scar likes what she sees from the ringside. Cross takes some time to gloat before recovering for a 1 count. Cross chokes Zane into the middle rope. The referee backs away. Scar taunts Zane. Cross puts Zane on the top rope and climbs, but Zane falls, elbows him off. Sorry, my voice. Zane elbows him off. Cross quickly elbows him and gets him in the Tree of Woe. Cross attacks Zane in the Tree of Woe for saying, "I hate you, Sammy, you liar." Zane drops down and Cross covers for a 1 count. Cross punches away at Zane and looks around. Cross sits on Zane, punches him before laughing. Zane fights back and get back and get out of it. Cross quickly knees him in the midsection. Zane sends him into the ring, into the ropes. Zane springboards over him and clotheslines him down. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm gonna finish. Something's wrong with my itchy throat here. Zane punches and chops carrying across in the corner. Zane climbs to the second rope for 10 punches, but Zane goes beyond 10. Zane comes off the ropes with an axe handle. Zane goes back to the top rope, but Cross pops up. Zane jumps over him, but Cross scoops him and hits a net breaker for a 2 count. Zane fights out of a Cross jacket and goes for a blue thunder bomb. Cross counters out with it hits a victorious Doomsday Sato. Cross sets up for the cross hammer. Zane ducks it and hits a blue thunder bomb. 1-2, Cross kicks out. Zane tries to pull up Cross, but he appears to be out. Cross was playing possum as he pops up and hits a German suplex. Cross smiles and hits a second German suplex. Cross lifts Zane. Zane slides off. Zane then hits him with an exploder suplex in the corner. Zane sets up a hell of a kick, but Cross counters into a Cross jacket. Zane tries to push out, but Cross takes him down and grapevines his body. The referee lifts Zane's arm. It drops twice, but Zane kicks up a third time to a huge ovation. Zane rolls over and reaches for the bottom rope, but Cross is on the back and clinches into the hole. Cross says, I told you so." Zane desperately reaches out and grabs the bottom rope to break the hold. Zane looks out and gets to his feet. Cross says Zane has to learn to stay down. Cross lights him up, running with a clothesline in the corner. Cross tells Zane to stay, he's a liar, and he slaps him in the face. Cross backs up and hits a second corner clothesline. Cross says, say Cross told him the truth. Cross goes for an opposite corner, but Zane follows up and with a hell of a kick for the win. Winner by pinfall, Sami Zayn. AAA World Tag Team Champions Los Garza are at ringside with Santos Escobar. The Royal Rumble is scheduled to take place in Saudi Arabia next year, 2026. via U.S. Championship. Sol Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Ryan Tran. Before the bell rings, Sikoa blindsides Jacob Fatu as the bell rings. Sikoa bounces off the turnbuckles and punches him down. Sikoa mocks Fatu's gyrations. Fatu grabs Sikoa and shoves him into the corner before hitting an avalanche. Fatu punches Sikoa down the corner before stomping away at him. Fatu whips Sikoa with the opposite corner and charges, but Sikoa boots him in the face. Sikoa charges, but Fatu uppercuts him down. Fatu talks trash to Sikoa and backs up, but Sikoa gets out of the ring. Fatu exits the ring and leaps off the steps for a diving clothesline. Fatu gets Sikoa in the ring and connects with a senton splash. Fatu connects with a second senton splash before going for a double jump moonsault, but Sikoa gets out of the ring. Fatu sets up a suicide dive, but Sikoa punches him in the face. Sikoa uses a range on the apron before hitting a range on the floor. Sikoa gets in the ring and appears to be looking for a count, even though that win won't win him the title. Sikoa grabs Fatu and gets in the ring and talks a little trash about leaving the family. Sikoa stomps away at Fatu. Fatu fights back with right hands and before whipping him in the corner. Fatu charges for an avalanche, but he bounces his face off the ring post when Sikoa moves. Fatu holds his jaw in the corner. Sikoa connects with a running hip attack. Sikoa takes a few moments to gloat before pulling Fatu in the corner. Fatu in the center of the ring and applying a weird chin lock. Sikoa shouts that he gave Fatu everything, but Fatu never loved him. Sikoa clinches in, but Fatu eventually fights up to Sikoa and drops him with the right hand and continues to talk trash. Fatu fights back and shoves him. Fatu hits some right hands. Sikoa quickly goes for a German suplex. Fatu lands on his face. Fatu was probably supposed to stick the landing because he gets up like nothing happened. Fatu then hits Sikoa with a German suplex that Sikoa looked reluctant to take. Fatu super kicks Sikoa in the corner and hits a running hip attack. Fatu connects with an impaler DDT before heading to the top rope. Fatu connects with a swanton bomb for a near fall. Fatu continues to strike away Sikoa and shouts, "All gas, no brakes." JC Mateo runs down to help Sikoa. Mateo distracts the referee. All of a sudden, a mystery man attacks Fatu on the top rope. It's Tonga Yola, who had been out of action since Survivor Series. Yola hits Fatu, but with a spinning neckbreaker off the ropes. Sikoa crawls over and covers 1-2. Fatu kicks out. Sikoa cannot believe it. Sikoa heavily looks at his taped thumb. Fatu ducks a Samoan spike and knocks Sikoa down. Fatu hits a springboard against the ropes to knock off Mateo off the apron. Fatu then hits Mateo with a Leo with a Frostberry flop. What? Fatu gets in the ring and hits Sikoa with a pop-up Mary Samoan drop. Fatu super kicks Mateo and hits him with a running hip attack. Fatu hits Sikoa with a double jump moonsault. The referee is distracted. All of a sudden, Huki fools Fatu out of the ring. Grabs Fatu by the throat and chokeslams him onto the commentary table. Sikoa rolls Fatu out of the ring. Sikoa looks pleased and turns Fatu outside the ring with a Samoan spike. 1-2. Winner by pinfall, new U.S. champion Sol Sikoa. Sikoa celebrates with his army. Jacob Fatu is not happy. New U.S. champion. The debut of Hikuleo. Wow. Hikuleo. Wait a minute. Hikuleo. Yeah, from New Japan. Yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah, Tonga. Tonga. Yeah, he signed with WWE in July of last year. He's the son of yeah, that's Haku's son. Tonga. It's unbelievable. What a debut. Okay, last night on Friday Night SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton defeated Nia Jax in last women's win to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. SmackDown Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton is shown. SmackDown Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton is shown at ringside Queen of the Ring Tournament Finals. Queen of the Ring Tournament Final Match: The Empress of Tomorrow versus Jade Cargill. Referee is Daphne LaShawn. The winner of this match will become the 2025 King of the Ring and will challenge the brand's respective Women's Champion at SummerSlam. The bell rings and Asuka goes to pick up the leg. Pick the leg. Cargill won't go down. Cargill tries to elbow her, but Asuka ducks it and backs up, taunting her. Asuka grabs the arm, but Cargill pushes her off. Asuka goes for an octopus stretch, but Cargill fights out and slams her down for a 1 count. Asuka goes to the apron and blocks a kick for hitting a weak-looking dragon to screw the rope on the ropes. Asuka attacks the knee and hits a running kick for a 1 count. Asuka lays in some kicks to the chest. Cargill blocks the kick and goes for a chokeslam, but Asuka counters into a roll-up before transitioning to a knee bar. Cargill manages to roll through the deadlifts lifts her into a German suplex. Cargill sends Asuka into the ropes, hitting a spinning spinebuster. Cargill avalanches her in the corner and connects with a fallaway slam. Cargill kips up her knee and her knee is magically fine. Cargill super kicks Asuka and goozes her for a chokeslam, but 1-2, Asuka kicks out. Asuka fights out of Jaded and kicks her in the face. Cargill fights back and they start exchanging right hands. Asuka wipes her out with a combo strike before going to the top rope for a missile drop kick for a 2 count. Asuka grabs her arm and sets her for an Asuka lock. Cargill fights out and goes for the Jaded, but Asuka counters into a roll up for a 2 count. Cargill quickly blocks a kick and hits a side out powerbomb for a 1 count for a 2 count. Asuka manages to take her down and applies a cross arm breaker. Cargill manages to fight out and hits a pump kick. Asuka gets out of the Jaded and applies an Asuka lock. Cargill rolls through and pins Asuka for a 2 count. Asuka kicks her in the head twice before sizing her up. Asuka hits the ropes for Empress impact, but Cargill counters into a Jaded for the win. Cargill fell over as she tried to sit on Asuka for the pin. Asuka's shoulder may have been come up, but they're ignoring it. Winner by pinfall and the Queen of the Ring winner, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill has become the 3rd Queen of the Ring in WWE history. SmackDown General GM Nick Aldis, 3rd Queen since China, the late China, and my whole Jax. SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and Raw GM Adam Pearce are in the ring to present her the Queen in the Ring crown. Brian Sexton says Jade Cargill is heading to SummerSlam in the match for any title. Cargill says the world was on her shoulders when she entered the tournament. For people to doubt themselves, praise yourself because you're fighting through the boos. Don't tell them who you are. The grind don't stop. A storm is coming for SummerSlam. Cargill poses with the Queen of the ring as pyrokinetics go off. I think she's gonna challenge. It's gonna be she's gonna go out. She's gonna challenge because she's gonna challenge it's gonna be challenge Tiffany Stratton. And what's gonna happen is that Naomi's gonna cash in, become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and her dream will be shattered. Jade Cargill, but I think I bet you somehow there's gonna be some. But I got like a little gut reaction that tells me that Bianca Belair might stab Jade in the back and cost her the women's title, cost her the SmackDown Women's title, and Naomi become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and aligning herself with Bianca Belair. And revealed that Bianca Belair was the mastermind behind Jade Cargill's attack all along. We'll see. We'll see what we see. Yeah, now about today, I suspected. I said to myself, if any of the superstars get killed in Saudi Arabia, we can blame Triple H. Nothing happened. No attacks. Okay, we just got the word that Monday Night Raw, there'll be an evening edition of Monday Night Raw at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central on Netflix. Goldberg will have his last match in a few weeks on Saturday Night's Main Event against World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. And who knows, Seth Rollins might cash in on that day. Okay, you'll see a video of the Undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Championship. The Undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Championship, CM Punk versus John Cena. Referee is Dan Engler. The bell rings, and what could be the final chapter of a legendary rivalry begins. They are 6-6 in their career matchups against each other. They are dueling chance for Cena. They lock up and applies a side headlock. Punk twists out and applies an overhead wrist lock. Overhead wrist lock. The bottom rope wrist lock. The atmosphere is incredible once again. Cena gets a foot on the bottom rope to break the hold. A CM Punk chant picks up. They lock up and Punk applies a side headlock before dropping to a knee. Cena fights out and hits a snapmare for a 1 count. They go for a Greco-Roman knuckle lock, but Punk hooks the head and hits a headlock takeover. Cena grapevines the head, but Punk fights out and does the "you can't see me" taunt. They lock up. Punk hooks a side headlock, but he's pressed into the corner. Punk releases the hold, and a frustrated John Cena backs up. The GOAT angry looks at the crowd as they continue to chant. Cena wrenches Punk's arm and applies a side headlock. Punk whips him off, but Cena shoulder tackles him for celebrating. Punk gets to his feet and points as Cena shakes his head no. Cena's not happy with the crowd. It's not happy that the crowd is electric. Cena kicks Punk in the midsection and drops him with a straight right hand. Cena and Punk has Punk on the ropes and punches away at him. Cena hits a sort of fisherman suplex for a 2 count. Cena side scoop slams him for a 1 count. Cena hits the ropes again and hits a super weak shoulder tackle. Cena super weak shoulder tackle. Cena hits the ropes and ropes once again. Punk lifts him for a go to sleep, but Cena slides off and quickly gets out of the ring. Punk lies across the top rope and signals that he isn't sweating on Cena. Blocks a kick and Punk blocks a kick away and kicks away at Cena. Cena manages to power him for other two adjustment. Cena Punk slides off and rolls him up for 2 count. Punk connects with a clothesline. Punk applies this octopus stretch and fights out and stands him for a 1 count. Cena has a slow pace down. Punk slowly gets up and Cena gives him a big boot. Cena starts up with 5 moves of doom. A pair of shoulder tackles and a back suplex powerbomb and a 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena goes for a 5th move, the attitude adjustment, but Punk slides off and hits a jumping calf kick. Punk hitting a swinging neckbreaker followed by a high knee in the corner. Punk follows up with a short arm clothesline before heading to the top rope. Punk points to the heavens and hits a Macho Man flying elbow. Cena elbow. Punk signals that it's bedtime. Cena counters the GTS and picks up the leg for the STF. Punk manages to fight out and applies an anaconda vice. Cena manages to turn him over for a 1 count. Cena immediately hits a double A and 1-2. Cena 1-2. Punk kicks out. Cena gets to his feet and lifts CM Punk, but Punk slides off and hits a DDT. Punk applies a STF to Cena, but Cena manages to get to his right hand on the bottom rope to break the hold. Punk holds it on for a few seconds and releases before being disqualified. Cena leans on it in the corner. Cena hits a running knee in the corner, but Cena blocks a running bulldog and hits a back suplex powerbomb. Cena signals for a 5-knuckle shuffle again, but Punk kicks him in the head. Punk lifts Cena, but Cena slides off and Punk goes for a swinging neckbreaker, but Cena counters with an head choke double A 1-2. Punk barely kicks out. The crowd chants, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" Cena punks Punk over the top rope and stands on the second rope for an avalanche double A, but Punk knocks him off. Punk goes for a diving crossbody block, but Cena rolls through him. Cena rolls through, powers him up, and hits a double A 1-2. Punk kicks out once again. Cena cannot believe it. Cena gets out of the ring and looks at the undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Championship. Cena grabs it and gets in the ring, and Cena sizes Punk up. The crowd chants, "No!" Cena looks conflicted and throws the title aside. Cena lifts Punk for a double A. Punk slides off and hits a GTS 1-2. Cena kicks out. After taking a few moments to recover, they begun exchanging right hands. Cena hits the ropes and hits a diving shoulder tackle. Cena goes for a second rope. Punk ducks. Cena hits the referee instead, knocking him out of the ring. Cena hits the GTS and covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no referee. Cena is out long enough for Punk to become the champion. Then we hear is burn it down. Here comes the asshole. Mr. Money in the Bank Seth freaking Rollins heads to the ring with Paul Heyman, Fat Walls Paul Heyman, Big Dick Head Braun Breaker, and Big Huge Bronson Shithead Reed. They stand at ringside. Punk looks furious. Rollins holds up his hand and clenches his fist. Punk cuts off Breaker, and Reed, which strikes Punk clotheslines Breaker over the top rope and sidesteps Reed to get him out of the ring. Punk goes for a plancha on Breaker and Reed. I guess they were supposed to catch him, but Breaker might have forgotten because he bumped. Reed tried to catch Punk, but he got the legs of got the legs of it and nearly spiked him in the head. Spiked him on the head. Yuck. Reed and Breaker slam Punk through the commentary table. Rollins stands in the ring with the Money in the Bank briefcase and calls it for an official. Charles Robinson runs down the ramp, but Cena cuts him off with a clothesline. Stupid. Cena gets in the ring and confronts Rollins. Cena ducks a briefcase and shot and hits Rollins with an attitude adjustment. Breaker and Reed double team Cena. Penta slowly makes his way to the ring, seeming to make the save. Breaker goes to greet him on the ramp, but Penta kicks away. Breaker grabs him with a Northern Lights suplex off the stage. Man, they're really shitting on Penta, man. Sami Zayn's music hits. Zayn punches away at Breaker and brawls him to the back. Breaker takes Zayn down to near the stage. Penta then dives off the ramp and takes Breaker and Zayn out. Reed in the ring. Reed heads to the top rope, but Punk flips him off the top rope. Cena then powers up Reed for a double A. Cena and Punk are left in the ring, and the crowd chants, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" Cena and Punk slowly approach each other. Punk extends his hand. Cena shakes his hand with him and hugs him before his face changes. Cena goes for a low blow, but Punk blocks it. Punk goes for a GTS, but Rollins smashes him in the face with a briefcase before hitting a stomp. Cena quickly throws Rollins out of the ring and covers Punk for the win. Winner by pinfall, still undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Champion John Cena. Cena will seemingly prevail over CM Punk in their Lifetime series with 7 wins to Punk's 6. Cena quickly heads to the ramp with the undisputed WWE Championship. A frustrated Seth Rollins watches from the ring. Oh, boo! Cry me a river, Seth. Cry me a fucking river. You're not justified. You're not justified. It's not always about you. Anyway, but this show was just completely terrible. If Seth Rollins catches in and Seth Rollins catches on Cena and he becomes a new champion and the fans are gonna be cheering, that would make Seth Rollins and the babyface and Paul Heyman face, Braun Breaker face, and Big Bronson Reed face, and that would make any sense. That would be the stupidest booking by Triple H. I mean, he put up a terrible show today. If Seth Rollins catches in on John Cena, whoever has that, if he still has, when he has that title, if he defends the title against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, they would make Seth Rollins into a babyface along with Heyman, Reed, Breaker. That'll be some stupidest booking because that'll be, making him a popular heel and the babyface. That'll be really stupid booking. I mean, after what the stunt we just happened at last April's at WrestleMania 41. I mean, it was stupid. I mean, this is just a terrible show. Really stupid. I mean, it's just garbage. I mean, we all know what's gonna happen at SummerSlam. I mean, we all know what will happen. I mean, Oscar. I mean, we know, well, at least Oscar in we all know Jade Cargill is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Is the 2025 Queen of the Ring. Is the 2025 King of the Ring. But Oscar. We can still see Oscar go after Io Sky for the Raw Women's Championship. But I feel like there's gonna be some swerve that WWE and Triple H and TKO going to pull on us. I could say this was a shitty, terrible show in Saudi Arabia. Just complete utter BS. That was just terrible. completely terrible show. Triple H needs to be removed as CEO. We need a new CEO. I'm telling you, we need a new CEO. Because he doesn't know what they're doing. This is just this travesty to ruin a good match. I mean, I don't know why. It's the second time CM Punk got screwed by Seth Rollins, and there's gonna be some hell to pay. Serious hell to pay. Now I got that covered. Now it's time for something I like to do. I know what it's time for. It's time for it's time for Justin's Talent History, all the wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and history, and everything. All you hear that thing from Back to the Future. Celebrates his 40th anniversary this Wednesday. Celebrates his 40th anniversary this Thursday. It was released July 3rd, 2025. The movie was released July 3rd, 1985. I cannot wait. So let's go to today's wrestling history for June the 28th. Hold on a second, load up. Okay. Today is a happy birthday to John Heidenreich. Some of you know Heidenreich, former WWE wrestler Heidenreich. He turns 53 today. Rob Deidre, some of you know from MTV's Ridiculousness. MTV's Ridiculousness. He turns. He's a WWE fan. He turns 80. He turns. Hold on a second. He turns 51 today. 51 today. Rod Deidre. Joey Conway turns 36 today. And on this day in 1985, let's see. Yeah, this was Macho Man. It was at the WWE live event. This this is a WWE live event took place in Uniondale, New York. Lanny Poffo defeated Gino Carabello and Randy Savage, who made his WWE debut. Yeah, who made his WWE debut June 17, 1985. He defeated Jose Luis Rivera. Tony Atlas defeated Sway Hansen. B. Brian Blair defeated Steve Lombardi. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeated Magnificent Morocco by DQ. Bruce the Barber Beefcake defeated George Wells. George the Animal Steel defeated Barry O. David San Martino, the son of the late Bruno San Martino, defeated Bret the Hitman Hart. Hulk Hogan and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff defeated Big John Studd and Barbara Ward Jr. by countout. And on WWF Friday Night Titans, okay, on two Friday Night Titans, June 28th, 1985, hosted by Vince McMahon. Bob Orton joins the show. Bob Orton faced off against Junior Highlight Show. Gama Singh joins the show. You see Gama Singh facing off against a jobber. And I wasn't born yet anyway. B. Brian Blair joins the show. The show highlight match of B. Brian Blair facing off against Steve Lombardi. And Mr. Fuji and Don Morocco join the show. Morocco and Fuji are on location in Japan. Don Morocco versus Salvatore Blemo. Morocco gets a massage. And on this day in 1985, a little movie was released. Some of you might remember it. Very good movie. And all you know, I heard the all you know that the theme song I played on opening the show. St. Elmo's Fire, starring Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Emilio Estevez, Alice Sheed, Judd Nelson, Mayor Winningham, and Andrew McCarthy. And the young Andrew McCarthy was in that young Andy McDowell, and Andy McDowell was in that movie. This is a really good movie. And on this day in 2015, a pay-per-view event called Slammiversary 2015 took place by TNA. Ted Great Uno defeated DJZ, and Manning in a three-way elimination match for the TNA X Division Championship. Robbie E defeated Jesse Gartz. Bram defeated Matt Morgan in a street fight. Austin Aries defeated Davey Richards. Singles match for the winner gets to pick the stipulation for the 5 for the TNA World Tag Team Championship bell to bell. Brooke Tessmacher and Austin Khan defeated the Dollhouse Jade, Marty Bell, and Terrence Terrell in a 3-on-2 handicap match. James Storm defeated Magnus in a non-sanctioned match. Ethan Carter III and Tyrus defeated Lashley and Mr. Anderson in a tag team match. In the main event, Jeff Jarrett with Karen Jarrett defeated Bobby Roode, Matt Hardy, and Eric Young, and Drew Galloway in the King of the Mountain match for the vacant TNA King of the Mountain Championship. And let's see. And I think I got all that covered. So that'll do it for my everything, my little podcast, my rant about today's shitty show, Night of Champions. So I hope all of you a good evening, and subscribe to me, the Godfather Soldiers and Slimmers, Late Chad Henshaw. I always say I like to dress like a cheddar chicken, sing like Lionel Richie, dance like James Brown, like to get in that hot tub, gonna make me sweat, gonna make me dry, gonna make me wet. Referring to Eddie Murphy doing an impression of Saturday Night Live back in the 80s. I never grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s. But I saw reruns of old school Saturday Night Live when I was little. So hope all have a good evening. And let's see, today I'm gonna close out something with for all of you today. I'm gonna close out the show with this number one hit this number one hit single from 1995 called it was really United States, called "The Real McCoy" by German Eurodance pop music German Eurodance pop music project Real McCoy. So hope I have a good evening. So let me find the music, and so hope I have a good evening. I'm out of here. Peace. And let me find it. Find it. Yeah. Runaway by Real McCoy. So have a good night. Have a good evening, everybody. I'm out of here. Peace.